Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Senator Warnock from Georgia is recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman Brown. Is this on? All right, is it on? There we go. Thank you, Chairman Brown, and congratulations to Ms. Raskin, Dr. Cook, and Dr. Jefferson for your nominations to leadership at the Federal Reserve Board. Congratulations to all of you. But I would like to take a moment to especially congratulate Georgia's own Dr. Cook. As a child, Dr. Cook was one of the first black children to integrate her public school and has since spent a lifetime breaking racial and gender barriers. Since graduating from Spelman College, an HBCU I know a little bit about, across the street from my Morehouse College, located in the heart of Atlanta, Dr. Lisa Cook, you've committed decades of your life to pushing the field of economics forward and sharing your knowledge with the world. And based on your clear qualifications and readily apparent expertise, it is clear that your nomination to the Federal Reserve Board will continue our important work to have an economy that works for all Americans. And we cannot ignore that your historic nomination to the Federal Reserve Board will serve as an inspiration for generations of young black women who would like to study economics and dedicate themselves to work in the highest levels of public service. We're to have an economy that works for all Americans. The Federal Reserve Board needs to look more like all Americans. And so I'm proud of your nomination, and Georgia is proud of your nomination, and I look forward to voting for you both in this committee and on the Senate floor for your confirmation. Now, Georgians are feeling the rise and the crunch of rising costs on their everyday lives, and as Chairman Powell said before this committee during his own nomination hearing a few weeks ago, some companies may be raising prices simply because they can. We're seeing this in corporate earnings. Follow the money. The evidence is there. These costs are being borne most acutely by everyday Georgians and small businesses, having an adverse impact on our economy. For example, the average price of a gallon of gas in Georgia has gone up by 4% in just the past month. In Brunswick, that increase is almost 6%, down in Little Brunswick, Georgia, all while profits among the largest oil and gas companies soar. So they're doing more than passing on the costs. So Dr. Jefferson, when considering systemic risks to our economy, such as inflation and increasing costs, what considerations do you give to corporations and wealthy executives choosing profits over the stability of our economy?
Thank you, Senator, very much for your question. And the concern that American families have with inflation is real because they feel it in their pocketbooks. It impacts what they are able to do from a week-to-week basis. It impacts their outlook for the future. And so what the Fed can do is think about the full menu of prices that American families have to contend with and conduct monetary policy in such a way that, on average, those prices are consistent with its target. With respect to the issues of concentration that you are indicating, there are other regulatory bodies that are more geared and prepared and skilled at looking at the concentration of industry. What the Congress has mandated that the Fed do is think about inflation overall. And if I were confirmed, I would keep the Fed's focus on that and trust that other agencies of the regulatory structure would look closely at issues of concentration.
So what kinds of tools might you use to address this issue?
Well, Senator, the tools that are the feds would not be able to meet the issues of industry concentration. That on the that side of the economy, that is not something that Federal Reserve instruments. I'm thinking about concentration outside of the financial sector. That is not something that Fed policy can address directly.
Well, it's something I'm very concerned about, and it's why I asked the White House Supply Chain Disruptions Task Force to investigate these practices by international cargo carriers, for example, down in the port of Savannah, where we were dealing with this issue, and we were able to loosen $8 million to help with the congestion there, but we're seeing these rising prices. Dr. Cook, how would you respond to these issues?
Thank you for that question, because I've seen those gas prices going up as I was vacationing in Georgia with my family over the holidays. I think that this issue, as Dr. Jefferson was saying, is largely outside the purview of the Federal Reserve. However, I think that it deserves more study, and we have, especially if there is any threat to financial stability, for example, or relates to the Fed's supervisory role, that would deserve more study. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Raskin?
Thank you. Oh, Senator Warnock,
I'm out of time.
your time has expired. If you would do it, because members want to go to the 11 o'clock briefing.
Absolutely.
Senator Kramer from North Dakota is remote from North Dakota, I believe. Senator Kramer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for accommodating this format. And thanks to all of our witnesses, and congratulations.